Good morning, dreamers. How are you today? I have my Ontario mug because that's where I want Carl to be right now. He's stuck in New York State. They've closed the highways down. Yesterday they had closed the highways down and there was less snow where he was than than here, which is southwestern Ontario. And yeah, he was frustrated because he could have gotten home or at least into about an hour away from home. He could have got here in, by 10 o'clock or so. Like he could have gotten a lot closer to home. And we were praying about it because we were frustrated. He's got to leave again Sunday afternoon at noon. And I'm, I'm, I get frustrated with his lack of rest. And sometimes it's his own doing, and sometimes it's not. And in a situation like this, just because you're in your truck doesn't mean you're resting. Just because you're in a bunk not driving doesn't mean it's the same kind of rest as being at home, having food on a table, um, flopping on a couch to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And it didn't look as though there was a reason for it. And as we're praying, God just said, trust me. And that doesn't mean that um, God is orchestrating some weird and crazy plan against getting Carl home. It's not about Carl. Sometimes we get so big in our own little worlds and we become God of our world. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way. I become like, I become the princess in my world. Like, come on, you should care about what I want. When there are extraneous things out there that may or may not be impacting this. And I thought, yeah, like I was joking around. His dad was a meteorologist, is, but retired. And I'm like, oh, those crazy weathermen, they scare everybody. And then the government shuts down the road because they didn't want another lawsuit like they did when the I-90 was closed and blah, blah, blah. Crazy weathermen, crazy weathermen. And I was just trying to lighten the mood with me and Carl, with not actually insulting Jack. But um, I thought, yeah, sometimes there's people out there that just know more than I do. And sometimes I need to just trust them. Sometimes I'm the person that knows more. And sometimes I wish people would trust me because I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes I need to take a step back and really listen and rest and wait. Because we don't always see the big picture. In our view, it was clear. It was very clear that there was no snow on the road where Carl was. It was very clear. But maybe things aren't as clear as they first seem. And taking a step back and listening to people who've studied deeply, deeply, and they know what's coming. They are making preventative measures for what the future holds. And I thought, oh, what a spiritual insight, God. Just breathe. Just breathe. And I might never know. That's the thing. There might still not be snow on if the wind shifts and the snow isn't on the ground. I might never know why he didn't get home last night. But I have to trust those that know more. I have to trust those who have done the work and that know what is coming. And it might not be as bad as I think it's going to be. And I just thought, oh, this is why we learn from godly men and women who have done the legwork, who have done the deep dives into theology, who have done the deep dives into language. This is why we learn from other people. And we trust in their character. And character ends up being everything. And you know what? That's what Gen Z wants. When I look at my children, that's what they want more than anything else, is they want to see authenticity and they want character in their world. They want to see character. And when their leaders are lying through their teeth, when their leaders are people that are not filled with character, when their leaders say, I appreciate this group of people, and then they go and purposefully exclude this group of people, they are shattered. And they say, I don't trust anybody. I'm going to do this thing on my own. And I'm learning about, because we talk about how, I hear it talked about how Gen Z is just, they're always offended by people. They're always, they're too soft. And those colored haired people put paint on pictures, and they might not be doing it the right way. They might not be going around and like they might not get it. They haven't lived a lot, but they don't want to learn from the leaders because they see the hypocrisy in their leaders. And unfortunately, we live in a world where these little things are rampant, and so we see a whole lot more than we used to see. And when someone falls, they fall so publicly that there's no return. And I remember I was listening to Judge Judy in the background of my office because I just needed, I was like, I need a ranter right now. It was how I was feeling. And she likes to rant, and she says, so no. Because the person's like, She goes, no, you don't have to think of a lie if you're telling the truth. The story will be very clear if you're telling the truth. If I hear a lot of ums and ahs, it's because you're making something up on the spot. And I thought, yeah, this is what our Gen Z's looking at. They're looking at people who are authentic. They want someone to listen to. Last night at our youth group, there was a gentleman from #Hope. And it was a suicide awareness and prevention organization that says, hey, there's hope in Jesus. But because he'd been there, because he had attempted and survived multiple times, he was worth listening to. He was worth listening to. He had their attention from the moment they walked into that room. He was worth it. And yeah, it was really, really intense that they found someone they could listen to, and who would listen to them and not just criticize them and not just tell them that they need to grow up and stop being so soft. Our culture and our world is divided. But people want unity. They want not uniformity, but unity. And sometimes it comes when we actually listen to the people that have done the legwork. And we don't understand why we're stuck. And we might be frustrated that we're stuck on the road and we can't keep going. For whatever reason, there's something we gotta plow through first before we can keep going. And we might be sick and tired of hearing about it. We might be, I don't know why, I don't understand, why is it such a big deal? There's something we as a culture must plow through, and part of it is just acknowledging that there are people out there that know more than we do. There's so many things we could talk about with that. Systemic racism. We need to listen to Indigenous peoples and their leaders. And we need to hear what hurts and what doesn't. We need to listen to our racialized people, and we need to listen to our queer friends. Listen to each other. And just rest, knowing there's something to plow through. Something's coming, and there are people out there that know better than we do, and we can balk and get angry, get frustrated at the wait. Or we can sit and rest, knowing that we're safe. If we just pause for a moment, all will be well. And eventually, the road will lead home. Anyway, know that I love you. Have a great weekend. Bye.